Why should customers buy from you instead of getting the same product down the street or going online and getting it for cheaper? If you can't answer that question in a real, clear, and concise manner that actually speaks to your segment audience, then you're in trouble, because that's a fundamental aspect of marketing that can't be ignored. Even if you sell the same product or service to somebody else, you need a unique value proposition. Worrying about any other aspects of marketing, even digital marketing, without having a core understanding of a unique value proposition is like loading a gun with the best bullets and switching pieces of the gun out to fire slightly faster, but you're not even aiming it at the target and you have a blindfold on. You need a unique value proposition, and you need one now. There's actually some science to it. It starts with identifying your ideal customer. Think of the perfect customer, the customer that is most likely to buy from you. Either you can use data to come up with this, or you can create a buyer persona. But either way, you have to have the perfect customer in mind when you create a unique value proposition. Who is going to benefit the most from your product or service? That is your perfect customer. You have to identify that customer's problems, that customer's pain points. Your unique value proposition has to be the perfect solution to an existing problem. This involves understanding your perfect customer's wants, needs, and even fears. A customer's pain points could also be part of the journey it takes him to purchase said product or service. Uber Eats solved this in the market when not everybody did delivery or takeout. Customers had pain points, and they solved that. Netflix solved a problem. Amazon, Instacart, Walmart, you don't even have to leave your car anymore when you shop now. These are pain points on the customer journey that got fixed. But it's not always as simple as just creating a whole new business. Maybe you already have a retail business. Maybe you already have some type of service-based business, and you don't exactly know how you can have a unique value proposition because you're not exactly doing something new. Well, what you have to do after identifying your perfect customer and after identifying their pain points, their struggles, the problems in their buying journey, and what they actually want, you need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of you and the strengths and weaknesses of your competitor. You can look at the competitor's pricing, marketing strategy, who they target. There's a lot of factors that go into looking at the competitor's weaknesses and strengths, who they are as a person, how big their crew is. Now, when you analyze your own strengths and your competitor's strengths, personal product knowledge, selling or operational experience, reputation, customer base, social media presence, leadership, lack of overhead cost, location adaptability, bottlenecks, employee turnover, a weaker financial position, inefficiencies, outdated tech, weak leadership, strategy theft, poor marketing. I think you get it. There's a lot of stuff that you can look at and analyze when you're trying to figure out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and then what your opponents or your competitors' strengths and weaknesses are. Usually, smaller businesses don't think that they have any advantage over the bigger businesses that can slightly undersell them. But think of it this way. A smaller business doesn't have to move up a chain of command to make quick decisions or to be adaptable. That itself is a strength. A small business doesn't have to outsource to a marketing agency when they run stuff on social media. They can make snap, quick decisions, take advantage of little things. And that's why they tend to overperform on social media compared to their competitors. Who you are as a person is also a strength or a weakness. Like for me, I have a business and marketing background. That's a strength. I don't have to hire somebody for that. You might really understand your product knowledge, or you might be like a pillar in the community. That can be part of it too. You really have to be honest about your strengths and weaknesses when you list them out, because there's going to be something that you can do that your competitor can't. I'm going to give you some examples of this, but you have to think of like a Venn diagram, the 3 circles, right? And in the middle of those 3 circles, the intersection of all of them, that's where your unique value proposition lives. So you have to think about what your customers actually want, what you do exceptionally well, and what your competitors don't do so well. Right in the middle of that is where your unique value proposition is. There was a small trading card game store, and they couldn't compete on pricing with Walmart. Walmart was killing them. Amazon was killing them. TCG Player and eBay were killing them on pricing. They couldn't compete because they bought from the same distributors, but because their contract was different, because they purchased less, they didn't have access to the same pricing model that Walmart, that TCG Player has. So they thought that their value was, hey, I'm going to provide the cards that I sell for the cheapest. But that wasn't actually what made them unique, and they were losing on that front. When they actually analyzed their competitor and their own strengths and weaknesses, they realized Walmart can't do pre-orders. right? Pre-orders in the trading card game section is huge. You can pre-order, and then the second something becomes available, you can purchase it. And day one, you can play with the new cards, enter tournaments, have an advantage. So pre-orders are pretty important when it comes to selling trading card games. A lot of money is made off of pre-ordering, and that also gives you access to money further ahead, which is a huge advantage that Walmart couldn't do. TCG Player couldn't do, eBay couldn't do. These online stores let you pre-order, but they're not allowed to ship the product until that day, where you're allowed to actually hand your customers the product that day. So that gives you an edge. The value that you provide can't be emulated there. That was a gap in the market. Just like them actually making a community and creating tournaments, card game tournaments, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. Can't do that at Walmart. A unique value was created. Another example, a local coffee shop had a huge leasing opportunity. So they just jumped the gun and took it. They didn't do a SWOT analysis. If they did, they might have analyzed a weakness that it was super close to a Dunkin', and they might not have taken that deal, but they did. And they already spent a lot of money, and they had to try to figure out how to get themselves out of this hole. They couldn't compete with Dunkin' on pricing. Well, they sort of could, but they were still in the hole because Dunkin' was just taking their customers. It was a faster experience. It was more well-known. They thought it took a lot of money to create an app, even though it doesn't. They didn't have an online presence. Dunkin' was killing them. They ended up doubling down on what they thought made them truly unique. They changed the whole layout of their store. They just really doubled down on the small business aspect, the one-on-one environment. They doubled down on having gigs there, having events there, art. They let art be displayed there. They had live music sometimes, and it created an experience that wasn't present at Dunkin' Donuts. It created a unique value where it's like, this is more of a live event place where we're also going to sell a lot of coffee while people come to these events. Because Dunkin' is a franchise, it's a little harder for them to create opportunities like that, to emulate that. Sometimes they have to run things up the chain of command. The owner wasn't actually really active. It was all handed off to management, and they could not provide that value of having live events and constantly inviting other small businesses to run events there. It was really successful, and Dunkin' could not emulate that. Also, think of a one-man marketing agency. This guy actually was winning on price, but he only had one project in his portfolio. It was a floral shop. He did great on it. The floral shop loved what he did, and he learned a lot about flowers and how the specific needs of a floral shop are different than like a regular retail store due to like the unique value that the floral shop has. A floral shop has products, flowers that die, and there's seasons and things are seasonal, and weddings are different than Christmas and all that. Mother's Day is a whole thing. He found out what problems the floral shop had, and he solved them really effectively, but no one else was buying his product. Sometimes marketers aren't good at marketing themselves. But what he did after he actually analyzed his competition, he's like, sure, I'm good on pricing, but that's not where I'm going to win. The unique value I can provide is I'm really good at this one thing now. I have a portfolio that's really good at marketing to floral shops. So he pivoted into that strength that wasn't really being fulfilled, and he got a lot of business. A lot of floral shops ended up paying for his services. And what he really did, he ended up winning on Google AdWords because floral shop keywords, very specific strings of words, along with certain negative keywords, he won on the digital marketing front of doing that. He was very efficient with making sure that the people who were going to click on his ads really wanted to buy from him. So I want you to list all of the unique benefits that you provide, the strengths that you might have that your competitors aren't fulfilling right now. Think about it. Literally just list it out on Notepad or on a piece of paper or on your phone. Just list out your strengths. Even if you think it's kind of silly, doesn't really matter, it sort of does. If you're better on social media, that's a strength. If you're bilingual, that might be a strength. If you can package products differently or create sets of products, or anything that helps the customer's journey, or anything that customers want that the opponents aren't providing, list that out. And then you're going to finally make the unique value proposition. So here are some examples. SunTrust, deposit your checks in a snap. Our mobile app makes depositing a check as easy as taking a picture. That's powerful. That immediately differentiates what they do and who they're talking to. They're specifically talking to people who want to be able to take a picture and get their check deposited right away. They're not talking to anybody else. It's very specific, but those are the people that they're targeting. That's their target market. and they're solving a problem. Now it's easy to deposit a check. Very simple, very concise. WordPress. Get started with WordPress. Over 60 million people have chosen WordPress to power the place on the web they call home. Join the family. I don't like that as much because I think they're not explicitly stating what they're going for. The unique value they're trying to say that they provide is, hey, we have better customer service. We're a family. But they're not explicitly saying that. So they're going to lose customers on the fact that some people might be confused or not know what they're talking about. What kind of customer is like, I was going to use a website. I was going to make a website. Now I'm not because they don't call me their family. That's a very, very small percentage of people. But if they like double down on saying we have the best customer service because XYZ, that would have worked a lot better in my opinion. Nike, your personal Nike co-creation starts here. Make something they've never seen before by creating your own iconic sneaker with Nike by you. It tells you exactly what you get to do. This is a value statement of you can create your own Nikes. Where else do you get to do that? With a Sharpie, pay an artist, and it's unofficial? No. After you have a unique value proposition, you can A/B test it, right? So you can actually do some data. The old way versus the new way, see what customers like more. You can actually talk to customers to find their pain points, to find if they like the new way better or the new product or service you're offering better. Seriously, I can't say this enough. Talk to your darn customers. So here's a fitness app. How would they create a unique value proposition? First of all, they create the ideal customer, busy professionals, aged 25 to 45. That's who they think are not being looked at in the market. That's who they think this is a segment of a customer that has pain points that aren't being addressed by the competition. Number two, what's the customer's problems? These busy professionals don't really find the time to stick to a fitness routine. Number three, competitor analysis. Competitors offer similar apps, but the workouts are kind of generic. Number four, personal strengths. Offer custom or personalized fitness routines in the app. Number four, personal analysis. Your strengths might be that you can solve an issue of we can create personalized workouts. Your weakness might be the price is a little higher. Number five, the sweet spot. Find the sweet spot, in the Venn diagram. So the sweet spot would be like, unlike competitors, we offer personalized workouts for people too busy to join a gym. So that hits all three circles. Number six, list the benefits. The benefits here would be we offer personalized workouts and a community that makes you more motivated and more likely to stick to a routine. Number seven, make the statement. And now I'm going to create the unique value proposition. Okay, the value proposition is fitness for busy professionals. Efficiently achieve fitness goals with our personalized workouts and supportive community. That unique value proposition literally tells you exactly what they provide that the competitors don't, that you will value as a customer. It literally just concisely answers the question, why should I buy from you instead of the competitor? Knowing what the customer needs that the competitor isn't providing is opportunity. And it really is like, instead of worrying about the specifics of what gun you're using, one might be 10% more efficient. It's like, why don't we actually aim towards the target? Let's actually know how to focus our marketing efforts so that every aspect of our marketing strategy and the tactics on top of that, every aspect of our marketing for our business is now going to be more successful. Why? Because now you're going to have less competition because your unique value proposition explains why you're unique. Your brand awareness is going to be enhanced and customers are going to have a better understanding of what you do, which is always important. And the target audience that you're choosing, you're really going to stand out for them, and that's going to create a higher lifetime value of that customer. So let me ask you one more time. Why should a customer buy from you instead of getting the same product or service online? Create a unique value proposition. Answer that in a clear and concise statement that tells you what differentiates you from the competition, what you do slightly better than them that they can't do as good as you, that hits the customer's pain points. If you can answer that in a clear, simple statement with a unique value proposition, then I promise all of your other marketing efforts are going to be a little better. I'm Jesse from FuriousMarketing.com. Subscribe if you like this. Leave a comment if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. If you got any value out of this at all, please leave a comment. Thank you.